if you look at 35, 36, from 35 to 36 of my statement, page 16, the work study reportedly effectively disestablished the Pktt and established a single murder and robbery unit that would effectively carry out various functions of the different task teams under one umbrella. According to the implementation letter, the implementation of the functions covered in the work study report was to be done in the phased approach. That is on page 16. It goes on to say the only specialized units that became operative upon, they were making an assessment at that time. And then they say 37, for all intents and purposes, Pktt was disbanded once the work study report was signed by General Stoller, since the murder and robbery was not yet operational. They continued operation and so on. So that is the whole conversation that I was referring to. That so in practice, Senior Counsel, when they established with their right hand these specialized units, they defined the tasks because they are specialized units, and infused that into the new structure. And then in their mind, it would gradually replace, because you can't have them. You can't have both of them and be accountable in terms of public funds. You can't establish new units, but then you keep Pktt. And that doesn't mean that and National Political Killings Task Team was no longer working or was not effective. It just meant that they knew that this is temporary. They knew they needed something sustainable that will take to the future. They knew that you needed something that will cover the whole of the Republic of South Africa, not just KwaZulu-Natal. That's the central argument in the new setup that they were talking about.
So what you're saying, although it's not expressly mentioned in that communication, that is implicit in the plan, or understood in the plan, that as you establish these new specialist units, the others...
Not even in my head, but it's written down that it would be... There would be a phase in. And the reason why they kept on signing extensions, it was because the process of establishing the units into their fully fleshed position took some time. That's why they extended the team.
Now, I'm going to invite you to, because this is an I think it's called an implementation letter, which you've attached at 91, 92, and refers to the work study of 14 June 2019, which was approved by Lieutenant General Sitoli on the 26th of June 2019, right? Now that plan has been copied to us by your lawyers. It actually is an annexure to, I think, one of the... So we will, Honourable Chair, Honourable Members, make this available and put it on the exhibit, in the exhibit bundle. So I don't know if you have it, because I think for completeness, it is important to look at the actual work study. And if you look at what, and I'm reading to you from the work study itself. This is the assignment given to it's got a specific focus on gangs and gangsterism. The history and the background, I'm reading from paragraph 4.1 of the work plan. The problem of gangs and gangsterism continues to plague the South African landscape as it continues to manifest in shootings, prison riots, intimidation, killings, and organized crime. Gangsters are becoming career criminals, forming part of organized syndicates and establishing a criminal economy in the communities. Then it talks about the prevalence of gang-related incidents across all provinces, but most pronounced in the Western Cape, Eastern Cape, Northwest, Gauteng, Limpopo, Free State, and KwaZulu-Natal. Gangsterism is therefore a serious national problem that is not limited to the Western Cape only. Existing police practices, mostly conventional in nature, have failed to effectively address the gang-related situation. Hence, the National Commissioner's directive to establish anti-gang units in the above-mentioned provinces. That is what this assignment is. And the findings at paragraph 5.1, the nature of gang-related crimes as well as the exposure to constant corruption inducement and the danger to the lives of members within the units and other families necessitated the need for an organized placement that will support the diverse nature of their functions. The placement should ensure the anonymity of the personnel and bring the functioning of this unit to a level outside of existing SAP's culture.
Yes, one thing that could have helped Senior Council is to, as I requested, to put on display the organizational structure so that you can see these units in the structure that was agreed on.
Well, the more recent one is the one you showed me earlier. Bundle 4. It's in exhibit bundle 4 at page 178.
So yeah.
Oh, it's up on the, at your request.
Yes, I didn't know I'm putting myself at a disadvantage because I don't have it in front of me to a point where, even this one of mine is very small. I don't have to see it. I need somebody to come and that's not. I need the one signed in 2020 May 2025 that shows I don't know whether it is this one. It is not the one that is displayed now. It is one on approved structure, division, detective service. I don't know whether they have that. That's where these units are. At least I can see what I'm talking about, what I wanted. Do you find it?
So
yes,
is that on view 180, page 180?
Yes. Now, if you look at these boxes from the left to the right, you count 1, you count 2, you then come to box number 3. It will show serious and violent crimes, giving effect to the study, and then we also spoke about it and. Agreed that it would be the new structure going forward in the whole of the 7th administration, serious and violent crimes. If you look at that, the section head, murder and robbery. If you look below that, stock theft, because it's a hazard and a problem. People are complaining about it on the ground all the time, and we need to strengthen and oil that. And then you have vehicle theft, and then taxi violence. And then you move to the next box, which is organized crime. You have a section head, you have economic, you have extortion, you have narcotics, you have transnational, you have anti-gang that you were speaking about. Now, in a more elaborate one, murder and robbery is understood to include political killings. There should be a small box there indicating political killings belong to serious.
Sorry, Minister, just to be to be fair to you, just to point out, this is dated the 15th of May 2025.
Yes.
And is it's an organizational structure for the detective services.
This is the one Senior Council.
2025, 2026 to 2029, 2030.
This is the one Senior Council that National Commissioner said. 2019
work study speak to this structure?
Yes. It could have been implemented long ago, actually. But there was a delay until we then, in 2024, looking at the imperatives of the new administration, we then get to be told that, no, look, this thing was done at some point. What ministry is demanding now is something that was done before. It's just that implementation didn't go according to plan, Sarah. And then, if you like, it was a revival, what we agreed on last year.
So is your point, firstly, that political killings
is part of serious and violent crimes.
So it's integrated into serious and under
yes.
This heading.
Yes, because serious and violent crimes, in actual fact, as you see below section head, it said murder and robbery. That is where political killings are put in terms of the work study and in terms of the newly adopted structure. So once you have that, you have a structure that is streamlined. What you fund something that is streamlined, but not for one province. And you fund it for all the provinces, but most particularly the 4 provinces that are leading in murder in the country, which is Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, Western Cape, and Eastern Cape. Western Cape and Eastern Cape. Now, you can't cover all of these, just those 4. You can't cover them with the current National Political Killings Task Team. You can't do it. You need a structure like this to cover all provinces, especially the 4. And then, it's not just the 4 that are going to have this. It's all provinces. You may differ in sizes because other provinces are small and they are less problematic on this. But you will see, I don't know, the crime stats that are going to come. We are most likely to see the 4 provinces leading, including in murder. Now, when we come to Parliament, to the Portfolio Committee, every meeting of the Portfolio Committee, we are under tremendous pressure from members of Parliament who are in the Portfolio Committee to say, deliver the number of killings and The Constitution doesn't say political killings that you should be concerned about, but I accept that at the time it was necessary for the president and for government to focus on what seemed to be a precipitating issue or a pressure point. And then it got done, just like you had in the Northwest, the mining problems. So you did some concentration there. But going forward with the taxpayers' money, you've got to cover all the citizens of the country in all provinces. And therefore, the structure talks to that in a specialized way. The only thing that needs to be done is implementation and strengthening. But to strengthen, you need money. Now, you can't get that money from Treasury all of a sudden. You need to look within your resources. You will see that this structure, as an example of our efforts, it no longer have the inspectorate. There was something called police inspectorate. Now, when we engaged, management said, what do? They gave us what they do and so on. Now, we realized that they are in uniform, they have boots, and we said, no, let them come out of offices, let them go to the street. The task of the inspectorate will be done by, they will have to plan how that task gets taken over. But what you need now is personnel. What you need is specialization. What you need is money so that these people can work, all of them.